Hello, hello, hello. Right, I wanted to do a quick review of Baldur's Gate today. So I don't even know where to start with this. We're going to be looking at the enhanced edition version, which is on Steam, and it's always gone on sale for like £4 or $6 or whatever that turns into these days. So yeah, the original game was released back in 1998 for the PC, and it completely changed the way I looked at games at the time. It was my first dabble with D&D and isometric RPGs, and I had no idea how any of the systems worked, relying on dice rolls. And I couldn't understand at the time why the character holding two long swords was just wailing away like a crazy man and absolutely missing every single hit. So obviously it took a bit of research to get into. Luckily, if you remember back then, it was the old giant box PC boxes that you got, and it had a hefty manual at the time, and it was amazing. I wish PC games did that these days. So you just had to quickly look at that, and it had some really weird systems that, to be honest, I barely understand now, like Batco and all that lot. Yeah, don't even I won't even go on to that. So yeah, it's kind of like the first game I ever played that kind of really made me feel like the world was alive and you were just part of it. It wasn't like the whole world revolved around you. And Baldur's Gate 1 especially, it starts you off with literally nothing at the beginning. And it just, right, go on, into the world, right? You start off with shitty staff and maybe even, I think you start off a robe at the beginning, even if you're a warrior. Or a fighter in this game, sorry. Now, the series has kind of got a bit of a legendary status now, and I think with Baldur's Gate 3 currently in early access, it's never been a better time to go back to its roots. So yeah, of course, like I said, this is the enhanced edition, which cleans up some of the bugs and whatnot. It makes it run full screen, and it changes the UI a little bit. It doesn't, not massively, no massive changes really. And also, there's some extra DLC in the Siege of Dragonspear, which is also included in this review. So, what did they actually change in the enhanced edition? Honestly, they just made it run a lot better, and they have actually added. They've added four new companions into the base Baldur's Gate 1 game, and they've added a few more into the Siege expansion as well. But as that's brand new anyway, you don't really notice it as much. It's just obviously a different game. So for me, the amazing standout addition is Baloth. I think I'm pronouncing that right. It's just an evil sorcerer, which you kind of have to look up how to find him because it's a bit like sort of like a hidden Easter egg. You have to be going past a certain tower at a certain point when you're a certain level, otherwise you just never meet him. But he's absolutely amazing, evil sorcerer, and he just comes out with one-liners all the time. And to be honest, he's probably a bit overpowered. As soon as you get him, he just blows away any other person in your party. It's honestly worth keeping your reputation below 18 just so you can keep him in there because he's amazing. But yeah, like I said, his voice act is great, his lines are great. Honestly, it's worth it just for that. Now, like I said, all the other party members, they're all pretty good. Dawn is kind of like an evil, what did you call it? Like a fallen paladin, he is. He's pretty much just a straightforward evil. They probably overdo it a little bit, like, oh, must kill children, must do this, must do that. And Nira was like a wild mage you've added into it. Voice acting is pretty good. She, as a character herself, she can kind of be a little bit annoying, but the wild magic is just funny to have. Like you'll be basically, if you don't know what wild mage is, they have a percentage chance every time they cast a spell to cast some other random crap instead. So you try and cast fireball, and she'll randomly summon a demon that'll destroy your entire team, or randomly turn you all into, I think it was rabbits. It had it once. It's something ridiculous. Just change everything in the area into like rabbits or something. I can't remember where it was. But obviously, if you're one of these hardcore people that don't want to reload, save and reload, and save scum a lot, he's probably not going to be a good party member to have because she'll probably just ruin so many runs if you want to do it in one go. But what I absolutely love about Baldur's Gate, it's almost a perfect game for me. There's a lot of lore in the world if you want to go in and explore and talk to people and totally immerse yourself into the world, you can. Or you can completely ignore everything and just mess about and go off on your own little adventure and just become a murder hobo and just play around. It's kind of the sort of game I wish they did more, because you always have open worlds where you don't really feel like you're free to do what you want. And you kind of get punished a little bit for just toddling off and not following the main plot sometimes in some games. Like I know Skyrim you can do it and toddle off. But literally, right from the off Baldur's Gate, as soon as you leave Candlekeep, which is the main place we start off, which is kind of tutorial area, you're just free to do whatever you want. Kind of gives you some basic guidance, but And honestly, for being an old game, it's not like Dark Souls difficulty. It is hard because the game has the balls to just let you completely miss things and just get completely annihilated if you're not careful. Because it gives you a hint to maybe go to a certain area to pick up some character members first, but you can completely ignore that and go to harder areas and get completely destroyed straight away if you want. Because starting off at level 1, literally, a wolf is like a giant raid boss to you. You start off really pathetically weak. And yeah, it's like I said, it's got the confidence to just let you completely miss things. Like in this game, the amount of times I've played it and you miss certain party members in certain areas, and I've done the game 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. I don't even know how many times I've finished it in the past, and I'm still finding new hidden characters now, or certain little events or certain quests that I missed the first time around. I love it, the fact you can just completely find certain things. And it's just, these days, you don't really seem to have that, where developers are kind of so scared of you missing cool stuff. You kind of end up getting a little bit railroaded into it, so it's like, oh, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. Where sometimes there's not really any point to replay it, because you've already seen all the interesting stuff anyway. But yeah, Baldurs Gate is a really good game, really tough. And honestly, you probably do need to pay attention and learn the mechanics, otherwise you're just going to get destroyed. If you're starting off, just literally head south straight away. Don't head north because you'll probably die unless you know what you're doing, but head south. Now, the expansion, Siege of Dragonspear, is brand new content which has only been made for the Enhanced Edition. It kind of bridges the gap between Baldurs Gate 1 and Baldurs Gate 2, because obviously if you play Baldur's Gate 2, I won't have any spoilers, but you start off in a certain area, and certain things have already happened, and it never really totally explains what happens in between. It's hard not to get into spoiler stories here. But this is kind of like, Siege of Dragonspear kind of covers the gap between Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, and I think they've done an awesome job of it. I love the expansion. It's set directly at the end of Baldur's Gate 1, so it's weird, when you're playing it now, as soon as you finish Baldur's Gate 1, it immediately drags all your characters that you were using and all your gear into Shadows of Dragons... Siege of Dragonspear? I can't remember the bleeding name myself. But yeah, you start off literally hunting down the rest of Sarevok's followers, and it takes you from there, and there's a whole new plot line where you're hunting a woman called Kalar Argent. It's kind of like a godlike figure in charge of a crusading army, causing chaos wherever it goes. And honestly, I thought the plot was quite fun, and any excuse to team up with Minsk and Jaheira again, I'd loved, because Minsk is just my favourite character pretty much of all time in any game. But yeah, I love the fact they've actually got the original voice actor back as well. You've got Minsk doing even more of his crazy ass waffling about Booey's hamster, of course. He still makes a return. But yeah, there's also a few more breadcrumbs which actually cover the gap before number 2, and you'll get appearances from a man called, well, I think he's named the Hooded Man in this, which his lines are awesome. And if you've played Baldur's Gate 2, you'll know immediately who it is by the voice actor. If you don't, just pay attention. I won't say anything. The battles are a lot larger in this, though, than the original game. There's a lot more group battles, rather than really nitpicky, complicated fights where there's 1 or 2 hard mobs that you've got to kill. You'll just get 7 or 8 enemies run at you at the same time. So this is where, like, casters come into their own in this one. To get fireball, get anything, get roots. You just need a lot of AoE magic really for it, because you're just going to get constantly attacked. And honestly, this is where Baloth rocked. The sorcerer could just keep casting fireball, 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 and he's amazing. The DLC is about 20 hours-ish long, if you kind of do all the environments, which is a good chunk of content, really. And I loved every second of it. It did feel a little bit more modern, with more events and talking cutscenes, and a little bit less open, because obviously it's a lot smaller. But honestly, I don't mind at all. The plot was good enough to hold me attention. A few twists and turns along the way, and at the end, something happens that I didn't see coming. And honestly, I think Beamdog, yeah, the developer that designed this is called Beamdog, did an amazing job with the Enhanced Edition and the expansion. So much so, really, that I would have liked them to do Baldur's Gate 3. I've not played it yet, but Baldur's Gate 3 has been done by Larian Studios, who were the people behind Divinity Original Sin. And honestly, those are good games. They're amazing games, but they don't feel like Baldur's Gate to me. Like, Pillars of Eternity, for me, feels closer to Baldur's Gate than Divinity does. But correct me if I'm wrong, because I've not played Baldur's Gate 3 and waiting until it actually fully releases before I buy the thing, because I don't want to play it over and over and over again and not finish the bloody thing. So yeah, what else can be said about Baldur's Gate? The areas all look beautiful, even today. Even though it's old as hell, it's just, I think they're all hand-drawn areas and they look amazing. If you're into RPGs, give it a shot. And if you're kind of like me, where you've always been curious about D&D but don't really have a friend circle to do it, this is kind of like the next big thing, next best thing. The party members in this will always remain some of my lifelong favourites, and they're kind of up there with like the likes of Garrus from Mass Effect, Minsk especially, but the rest as well. They're just so well written and they feel like real people, and it's just, if you're like me, you'll end up forcing a weird party setup just so you can have certain people you like in your team as you go on your little adventures. The only negatives I can say about Baldur's Gate 1, obviously the difficulty curve, if you don't know what you're doing, you can get killed a lot, and you have to put the effort in to get the fun parts out. And also, definitely in the first Baldur's Gate, you get reputation way too quickly, even if you're just trying to play like a bit of a neutral party. Because if it goes from 1 to 20, your reputation scale, and if you've got anyone evil in your team, as soon as you get above 18, they leave your party, that's it, just toddle off. But you get reputation all the time, to the point where really you kind of have to fiddle it. Not by using a mod where literally just go into a random house and kill a random commoner and lose, I think it's 8 or 12 reputation just for murdering one person, and then let it count back up again. It's a really stupid system, it's always annoyed me, but in every game I play, I always have to kill someone. I'm afraid. I'm saving the world pretty much, so yeah, what I tend to do is take my evil character for roleplayer reasons. Evil character away from the party, go murder someone in the house and have them come back, so I technically don't know what happened with my good aligned character. Mental, but I have to do these things because I'm OCD. But honestly, yeah, I absolutely love it. You can take a character from Baldur's Gate 1, create them in that, play through Shadows, God almighty, they should have called it that. Siege of Dragonspear. Play through 1, play through Siege of Dragonspear, and then you can also import your character into Baldur's Gate 2 Enhanced Edition. And then obviously into the expansion for that, so it feels like one epically long adventure with your same character. So it's definitely worth a shot. I love the game to death, I played it a ton. For some reason I bought it on Epic, played it on there, then bought it on Steam and played it on there. I don't know why, but I just love the game that much, and any excuse to play it again, that's what I do. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed my ramblings. Please let me know what you think below, and if you come up with any random party setups you can come up with at the bottom, please let me know, because I still don't really dual class that much because I get confused and it gets messy. Also, if you're new to this, don't go near there, because if you don't know what you're doing, don't try and dual class. Just don't, because it's amazing when you know what you're doing, but you can't half screw up your character. So yeah, thank you guys, and I shall see you next time. Okay, bye.